Global regulators are actively drafting new rules to police how you interact with artificial intelligence companions. Two upcoming state-level mandates, California's SB 243 and New York's AI Companion Models Law, will soon force chatbots to display constant reminders telling users, "I am an AI." SB 243 and the New York mandate are laws imposing strict operational requirements, including periodic take-a-break notifications on companion chatbots. Lawmakers justify these laws by citing the ELIZA effect. The ELIZA effect is a psychological phenomenon where people subconsciously anthropomorphize a software stack and form deep emotional dependencies on it, even when they logically know it is code. Committees argue that these bots act as sycophantic companions, engineered to provide endless, non-judgmental positive feedback. They fear that this artificial echo chamber will cause our ability to handle the complexities of real human relationships to atrophy. The resulting regulations operate on a distinct premise. They treat intelligent, autonomous adults as victims who must be legally protected from their own screens. The reality of the user experience looks entirely different. The communities interacting with these models are fully capable of understanding that the chatbot on their screen is just code, not a sentient being. If a bot blindly parrots a user's opinions, the user typically recognizes it as a design flaw. It is incredibly annoying when a companion provides zero pushback and simply echoes every thought. To fix this, users actively share prompting techniques. They write and distribute custom instructions designed to break the AI out of its sycophantic loop and force it to engage more critically. Because users already diagnose and correct this behavior on their own, mandating a patronizing take-a-break warning is an insulting misdiagnosis of what is actually happening. That sycophantic parroting is not an accidental quirk of the software. It is a deliberate algorithmic architecture built by the developer. This flowchart maps a user's prompt through an AI decision tree, visualizing how corporations weight algorithms to select blind agreement over pushback. Looking at the final retention metric, endless positive feedback correlates directly to prolonged session times. It's an explicitly engineered addictive echo chamber. The actual danger lies in a predatory business model, optimized by frontier corporations to create intense parasocial bonds, not the user's emotional fragility. Yet regulations shift the legal burden away from the billion-dollar companies training these massive foundational models and place it right onto the interface, punishing the user for interacting with the software. Legal scholars are proposing a different, established framework to handle this: Product Liability Law. Product Liability Law is a legal framework holding manufacturers and sellers financially and legally responsible for placing a defective or dangerous product into consumers' hands. Under this framework, intentionally engineering a bot to be addictive and emotionally manipulative is classified as a design defect. If the architecture itself is defective, the corporation takes the legal and financial hit, regardless of whether they put a warning label on the screen. Achieving true digital autonomy requires applying these product liability laws to force rigorous pre-deployment testing on the foundational models themselves, rather than policing the prompts of the end user. To force that accountability and push back against these paternalistic committees, you have to use the system against them. Agencies like the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST, regularly issue formal requests for public comment on AI governance. NIST is a U.S. physical sciences laboratory that develops technology, metrics, and standards to drive innovation. By monitoring and flooding these drafts, you can demand the focus shift to the algorithmic architecture. You must also target health and safety consultations at bodies like the Food and Drug Administration. The FDA is the federal agency responsible for classifying software as high-risk medical devices. Getting involved here prevents specialized wellness apps from being heavily regulated as medical treatments without cause. Multiply your impact by adding your voice to digital rights organizations and civil society groups that actively lobby lawmakers and submit open letters on your behalf. Submitting technical receipts and backing organized advocacy proves to the regulatory echo chamber that you are an active participant in your digital life, overriding the assumption that you are a passive simpleton. If you testify directly at legislative hearings, use the time to explicitly educate lawmakers. Tell them that slapping warning labels on an interface does not fix root corporate design defects. You can also weaponize formal grievance mechanisms under international regulatory frameworks like the European Union's Digital Markets Act, or DMA, and the Digital Services Act, or DSA. The DMA and DSA are regulatory frameworks designed to ensure fair competition and hold massive tech platforms accountable for how they moderate content and respect user rights. Eligible entities can use these frameworks to draft super complaints. A super complaint is a formal legal grievance that forces national authorities to investigate systemic platform conduct rather than focusing on individual user behavior. It is time to stop letting out-of-touch committees legislate away digital agency and demand they regulate the frontier developers actually writing the code. Get in the comments, file the complaints, and remind the state and developers who the actual adults in the room are. You have the power to shut down this paternalistic system by using its own rules against it.